Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Tutorials Demonstrated Awfully for our Spyro 2 series. So we've come out of Idle Springs just with 2 talismans and we currently have 3 orbs, which are the 2 lamp orbs and the Charge the Idle orb, and we have 316 gems. Still not enough to buy Swim yet. So usually anyway, coming out of Idle Springs I usually go straight over to the left and get this vase over here because it has like 25 gems in it. You can then get these 2, which contain a 5 each, so it's an easy 10 again. And then I usually go and do this orb up here, which is one of the orbs that I can't see any reason why anyone would not pick this in their 40 orbs. It's such a simple orb. All you have to do is literally follow Hunter. That's all there is to it. Just jump over stuff and follow Hunter. Simple as enough. Really easy orb. Just spamming that A and start or X and start to speed through his text. So now we're on 4 orbs, and that was pretty painless, I'd say. I don't think there's many orbs quite as simple. This is a particularly difficult orb to get good enough to get. Don't know if you can see it, but there's an orb on that ledge over there. Usually it would require getting Swim from Moneybags down there, and then backtracking towards Glimmer and swimming up through this pond to get it. So I'm going to quickly save state this time and not load state, just in case I mess it up, because even though I get it 9 times out of 10, I still mess it up sometimes. But the way to do it is you might see a bit of extra ledge over there protruding from this hill. All you've got to do is walk towards it and do the walking double jump over to that ledge. So I'm going to demonstrate my first attempt to it. Hopefully it'll only take 1 attempt. Terrible first attempt, I have to admit. Couldn't have gone any worse. Let's try again. There we are, and there you have it. So that puts you on to 5 orbs. Now I'm going to load state again, so I can just do it again to prove that it's not a fluke, hopefully anyway. But yeah, it requires just doing the walking double jump off there, holding the charge for as long as possible before starting your glide, and then you've got to kind of, you can hover straight on sometimes, but at other times you end up kind of hitting this almost invisible barrier that kind of pushes you down. So you want to try and hit it from a kind of side-on angle to kind of guarantee it. So try again. Also be careful when pressing triangle, because after this orb, Hunter will want to speak to you again about something completely pointless. So, but yeah, it's worth one to practice, because there is another way to get this orb, which I will show in a future episode. But this is obviously the quickest way because it requires no backtracking of any kind. And there we have it. So it's definitely worth a practice, this orb. It is a pretty difficult one to kind of master. When I'm doing speedruns of it, kind of, if I get that orb, I know it's going to be a good run. If I don't, then, you know, it's a good 30 to 40 seconds that I lose not getting it. So it's definitely one to get good enough to get. There we go again. So you may have seen it, I nearly clipped down from that kind of almost invisible barrier. So anyway, once you've got this orb, or if you haven't, you will fall down into that pond. Just dust yourself off and recover and go into Colossus. And this is the level that I'll be focusing on in this tutorial. I know that I've spent like 4 minutes on just that part of Summer Forest, or wherever it is. Similarly, I'm not going to bother doing what I did for Glimmer anymore. I'm just going to run the level through, pointing out tricks along the way. So skip talking to that guy, you don't want to waste your time with that. You don't need to collect enemies on this level. Now ordinarily you'd need to, speak to this guy and he'd open this door to you, which I really didn't want to speak to him. But let's say I hadn't spoke to him, I have, so he's going to open the door anyway. But a way to get around this without going through the door is come up onto this wall. I'm hoping I can get this first try. And this is another one similar to the orb that I've just looked at that can sometimes just not work for me, and like there, and I end up then just having to speak to the guy anyway because it's not worth multiple attempts. So you get up onto this guy's lip using a double jump to get on the barrier if you fall down too early, or just speak to the guy, and you get to the edge of this guy's lip and you can glide through kind of a gap there. I'll try and show you it again. But this is actually one of the skips that the other orb, for example, was a 9 times out of 10 I get it. This one's more of a 9 times out of 10 I don't get it, because that nose, it just kind of pushes you down. But you want to kind of do a sort of walking double jump up through that section. Oh, damn it. Tell you, you come to do tutorials and you just, all the tricks that you try and teach everyone, they suddenly become 1,000 times harder to do. There we go again. So then you charge through here, imagining that I haven't wasted all the time messing it up. I usually get these 2 gems and then come over to this wall over here. Now again, you come to the point where you could speak to that guy to lower it, but that's time. So you can use the walking double jump to get up here, and again to get up here. So what you've got a choice of then is you can either double jump up over to there, and then double jump again over to the end of the level, which is over that wall over there, or alternatively, get these gems while I'm here, or alternatively you can get onto this guy's eye, get onto this other eye, and then come up over here, and then you can actually get a double jump up to there if I can get it. Oh, nearly. This requires the flop to get the extra height. I'll see if I can get it. This is another one that I usually just go for the other route, to be honest, but I'm just trying to show you all options so you can make your decisions if you're better than I am. Nearly got it that time. I'll try one more. Oh, I don't think it's going to happen for me. I have got this a couple of times, but because I'm so inconsistent at getting it, I usually don't bother with this one. Okay, but anyway, yeah, you get the point. You can get up there and then go across. But say you've chose the way that I usually go because, you know, easiness. You know, practice that jump by all means. You want to then double jump up onto here, double jump up onto here, and then, oh crap, never ever failed that jump before, believe it or not, considering it looks harder than it is. And then you can double jump up onto here. Should show you that again. This requires a bit of angling with your fingers because you'll automatically be double jumping away from the wall, and then you've got to at the last minute angle it back in to avoid hitting off the roof. But it's actually easier than it looks considering the angle. But then usually I start this orb as soon as possible, and the reason being is because you can do other stuff while doing this orb and you've got to backtrack for it, so you may as well backtrack before you get to the end of the level. Get these 2 statues, use the double jump to get up on here. You can use the scenic route of going around the mountains, or you can just glide over here. You end up right by these statues, which is where you want to be. Get this statue over here, do a walking double jump back up onto the wall and onto this one. And now this is one of the more difficult jumps that usually pulls off for me, but I've had instances where it hasn't. You can see a gap through the wall there where this will only appear if you've not talked to that guy, otherwise it won't exist. But you can actually glide through that, like so. And then it just pushes you in if you hover into it. So you can do that. We're on 7. Skip talking to that guy. You can double jump up or use the whirlwind. I just use the whirlwind because, you know, it's not a kind of failure at times. There's a guy around here obviously. Then go and speak to the Yeti once you've got 8, because there's only 2 more and they're further on in the level. The secret part of the level, if you like, or the not so secret part because everyone discovered it when they were a kid point. This tutorial's going on a bit longer than I wanted, but Colossus has a few more tricks than Idle Springs does, and we've also covered a pretty big trick in the homeworld. So there is a way to double jump up onto the rock that fell down there. But again, that's another really fiddly one, and not even like super pros that are much better than I am can sometimes fuck it up. So there's your 9th one, and then the last one is just below this cape, but we don't want to get it yet. What I would usually do is glide over here. Now this is up to you. In some runs I do the hockey, in other runs I don't. The problem with the hockey is you obviously have the really awful ice physics of this game, so it can really be a run killer when you're trying to pick up a hockey puck and Spyro just keeps going over it, or you keep hitting it. But I'll quickly show a trick in case you decide to do the hockey ones. The bonus of the hockey ones, of course, is that it's 2 orbs right by each other. You haven't got to do any travelling. So I'm going to quickly beat this guy. My plan is to quickly finish this level, and then try and show you its speed run. So your first task is obviously to score 5 goals. Now the trick that I discussed is not doable on the one-on-one because the goalie's a bit more clever. He hits it away from you, but you can essentially just shoot from quite a long distance just to score goals, kind of thing. Because the keeper's very slow, so as long as you don't hit it directly at him or just slightly to the right or left, you can get it in from a distance, because he takes quite a bit of time to move. So we're on 3 already, and it's not even hit a minute, so we're more than halfway there. There's never any point in going into the puck when it's been thrown to the goalie. You might as well always go in the opposite direction and just claim the puck as quick as possible, which will be a different strategy for the orb after this, which is the one-on-one. See how much quicker it is just to go directly, wait for the puck to see which way it's going to go, and then go straight for it, as opposed to trying to chase it by going towards the keeper first. And there's our 5th goal. Now I'll try and show you the speed strat of doing the one-on-one. It's not like, as I said, I kind of change my mind every now and again whether I want to do the hockey ones or not, because on the bonus side it's right here, on the other side it's so much of a run killer for me. So the immediate strat is always hit that guy over. Now the keeper's programmed to always pass to his teammate, so if you stand in the line of where you just hit him over. Now I failed to score there, but you can see the point. The keeper will always pass to his teammate, meaning that as long as you stand in the way of him and his teammate, you can get the ball thrown right to you, and then you can just do a spin shot of hitting it in the net. So I might as well finish this orb so you can kind of get a feel for it. Now I'm doing quite well considering. Usually I take maybe 4 to 5 minutes doing this pair of orbs, which, as you can tell, is not really good for speedrunning. So that's the kind of response that you want to get. You want to knock that guy over, have it pass directly to you, and then if the guy's up in time, you'll have to spin around. It didn't work that time, but you have to see what I mean by the ice physics. Spyro can just slide right over it. We're on 4. This is going unusually well, considering how many tricks I've shown that have so far took me a few attempts. It's very bizarre when you've kind of got the the pressure of actually doing a run. You tend to fare better, whereas when I'm doing a tutorial, I'm talking at the same time as trying to show the tricks. Okay, so that's 2 orbs, and as you can see, it didn't take unbearably long, but it could take longer than you want it to. So then I'd come down here, get these gems, and get the final guy, and you'll be transported back to Tom Kenny, who's the voice actor of the Professor, which is a fact that everyone should know who's a fan of Spyro. So I'm going to quickly now exit the level and come back into it, just to try and show you my attempt at speedrunning it. And then that'll be it for this overly long episode. So let's go for it. Oh, that is extremely unlucky. Oh my days. I'm gonna, like, ordinarily I'd cut something like that out, but just for the purposes of showing what can happen, don't let that happen. Take 2 of Colossus. There we go, that's what I wanted. I'd usually be picking up gems, that's why I tend to go that way, it's a force of habit.
Oh, thank goodness.
Da-di-da-di-da. Oh no, I forgot my own trick for a second then. Not too late. There we go. And as you can see, that saves the time of going around the houses a little bit. I was able to you're able to skip that cutscene the second time, which is nice. Obviously, you'll have to sit through that cutscene, usually in a speedrun. So I can't see any reason why you'd be coming back to redo the talisman, personally. Oh, jeez, that was unlucky. Glide over to the left, pick up the gems that I would usually get, because, you know, it's like 50 gems really, or as good as 50 gems approximately, just in a close range. Last guy. Show off a bit by gliding into the distance, knowing that you will be saved by Tom Kenny. And that's Colossus really. You know, it's without the hockey, it's like a 3 to 4 minute level. Excuse me. With the hockey, it can take, you know, 10 minutes, and it's actually can be the longest level that you do in this world. But anyway, thank you for joining for episode 4. I'm sorry that it was longer than I wanted, but hopefully it's gave you a good insight as to the tricks in Colossus and Summer Forest. So just to recap, we come out with 3 talismans up to now, 600 gems and 8 orbs. So join us next time when we'll perhaps be looking at, it'll either be Horikos or Sunny Beach. Thanks for watching.